Hey everybody, this is another JavaScript quickie. So I'm going to go over a concept in programming and very briefly. And the concept today is currying. Currying is just basically taking a function. So in this case, I have a traditional function that has multiple arguments. Now in this case, every time I use it, I have to pass both arguments. So in this case, if I want to use this add function, I got to give it two arguments, one number and another number, so that we can add them together. Okay. So that limits my ability to use it. I always have to have both arguments ready to go every time I want to use it. Now, what a curried function does is what you do is you pass in one argument at a time. And when you pass in the first argument, so you create a function that takes in the first argument and it returns you a function that then takes the second argument, and then you keep doing it till you have all the arguments. So as you see here, create adder is going to end up in the same result. I'm going to create a function that takes in the first argument, a, but then it returns a function that'll take the second argument, b, and still return me the value of a plus b. Okay, so whether I call add and just pass both arguments at the same time, or call this create adder function that just basically I pass it the first argument and then immediately invoke the return function to pass it the second argument, I'm going to get the same result. But the second version, the curried version, has an additional benefit. One, I can create a reusable function. So let's say that first step of adding, let's say I'm going to add 3 to a lot of numbers. I could just pass the argument of 3 here, and now I have a function that will always add 3 that I can then reuse. So then it saves me having to pass in the argument of 3 as the first argument over and over again if it's something I plan to repeatedly do. Okay, so if you have a situation where the first argument may be the same, it's not always the same, but may be the same a lot of times. Okay, you can create these sort of composable curried functions, so that way you can basically skip the step of passing that first argument once you've defined it the first time. So in this case, now I have this returns that second function, which I just save as add 3, and then I can just add 3 to whatever number I want. So let's see if that works. So if I hit run, as you can see here, when I run the normal add 2, 3 function, that works. Okay, and that gives me the result of 5. But I get the same result when I just use the create adder, and I just pass in both arguments by passing it as a single argument to two different functions, the first function and then the returned function from that function. And then you can see here, I can now reuse this over and over again. Okay, and this can be really useful in situations where the second thing might be something you're not going to get for a while. Or that first argument is going to be the same argument for several situations. So in that case, you only want to pass it once and then just reuse that return function to save yourself having to do the same computation or same generation or the same gathering of that argument over and over again. So yeah, so that is curried functions. There's other ways you can use this, but basically what it does is it says instead of passing all the arguments at one time, you do it through step by step through a series of functions that will each return the next. So my name is Alex Merced. You can find all my information at alexmercedcoder.dev. I've actually coalesced all my links to everything if you just go to alexmerced.com now. So it should be a lot easier. Just go to alexmerced.com and you can find what you're looking for. But with that, I will see you all later. Have a great day and enjoy.